Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Purpose. I mean, we're oftentimes, they give us opinions that we don't see a case there, and so you ought to stop investing resources in it. But I'm talking about a situation where we were told to stop something for a political reason. That would be a very big deal.
Can you say perjury? All that plus much more up next on the Infowars Nightly News.
The reason Infowars Life has 5-star ratings on major third-party sites is because I want products I'm going to use for my family. I take this. My family takes this. And then it funds the operation with the most hardcore, truthful information you're going to find anywhere. So what you find in our news is the same thing you find in our products at InfowarsLife.com.
If I ever forget to take them, like I have a noticeable difference. I don't feel good. The nascent iodine is one of the ones that was life-changing for me.
Yeah, I actually have just run out of my super female. I had a few bottles at my house, and I've been taking it again, hitting the gym once again. Very exciting, feeling great, looking good. So, and I know my hair is luxurious once again. So obviously the super female is amazing. I love it.
Nascent iodine is essential. Survival Shield X2. If there's one product that I would say is life-changing that I would suggest, it's Nascent iodine Survival Shield X2. It's got a 5-star rating.
It's a win-win. InfowarsLife.com.
We are live again. Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. Owen Schroyer with you, and we've got some breaking news right now happening in Europe. Manchester, England, to be specific, where it is being reported on Zero Hedge right now. Other publications are starting to pick it up as well. 20 dead, hundreds injured after terror incident at Ariana Grande concert in Manchester. This is literally just breaking right now. And what I know so far is at the conclusion of the Ariana Grande concert, we have footage of this. At the conclusion of the concert, apparently as people were trying to get out of the arena that holds about 21,000, nail bombs is what's being reported right now. Nail bombs went off inside the arena. Early indications are that they went off in the forum area, and just from the images that I saw, it looked like did a lot of damage. Again, according to this story, I don't know who has, CNBC is now saying this as well, at least 20 dead and hundreds injured. So those are the early numbers, and yeah, guys, you can scroll down here. You can see some of the early footage that's coming out. People clearly bloodied, people walking down the streets that are bandaged up. And it does look like the type of injuries you would see from a nail bomb. Nails going into your legs, piercing the skin. Police are in the area. Bomb removal teams are in the area. They're trying to get everybody out. So far, I've not heard anything about potential suspects or anybody fleeing the scene or anything like that. We're just now starting to get some information on the numbers of people that were hurt, but 20 dead is what's being reported right now after an Ariana Grande concert inside Manchester Arena in the United Kingdom. Now, immediately, I think everybody knows where people's thoughts are going with this. Has it even been a month now since a man rammed people down off of a bridge in London and eventually rammed his car into a parliament building? So everybody is thinking right now the same thing. Could this be more radical Islamic terror? Now, in a potentially, again, yeah, see, this is the video from inside. Apparently, while this video is being taken, you could hear the explosions. But as you can see, these are people inside. And you can kind of see the crowd going into a frenzy. People are starting to scatter to get outside into the forum area to exit the building. But it does, at least early reports seem that that's where the explosion actually went down. It appears here in this video, you can see people trying to leave the higher forum to get out of the arena. You can see people scrambling now. They obviously have an idea of what's going on as we're just going through the videos. Again, this is just developing here, probably within the last hour. Again, 20 dead, hundreds injured at the Ariana Grande concert in England. Again, this was at the conclusion. You know, and this is an event that probably features mostly young girls, I would imagine, are fans of Ariana Grande. Young girls probably there with their families. You wonder if that may not have been a target to target young girls, children, at this event for whoever it was that was responsible for this explosion. And you have to wonder, when are people in England going to be fed up with this? You know, Tommy Robinson, who's under a lot of scrutiny, has not been the only one to call this out. He may be the biggest as far as getting attention is concerned. But I would imagine after an event like this, you would think that some people have had enough. When you're talking about children dying, I mean, at some point you have to draw a line in the sand. It wasn't enough at the Bataclan. It wasn't enough at the German Christmas market. It wasn't enough when somebody rammed people down on a bridge in their car. No, that wasn't enough. They still want open border policies and very loose and lenient migration policies in Europe. But if this continues to happen, how can they go on? How can you continue to embrace tolerance and open borders when it is now killing the youth of your nation? So we're going to continue to monitor this as the night goes on, as the details continue to emerge. Again, right at the conclusion of the Ariana Grande concert, 2 loud explosions. They're being reported as nail bombs. 20 fatalities, over hundreds are injured, and the police are on the scene. Bomb removal squads are on the scene. Obviously, hospitals at the scene, trying to figure out what exactly went down. You know, let's get to this story before I make this point. There was a Swedish airport that was evacuated today. Landvetter Airport was evacuated earlier today after 2 suspicious packages were found. They evacuated it because they deemed that it was a bomb threat, and 2 suspicious plastic bags were found and removed from the scene. Now, this was first being reported that they had found bombs on the scene. Now the police are saying that they removed the bags and that they were not dangerous, in fact. So do you see the state of fear that we have created now? You know, this all goes back to September 11th, 2001. But here's my thing. I don't want to live in a world where I have to have a rectal exam to go to a concert. I don't want to live in a world where I have to get radiation waves every time I want to travel on an airplane. I don't want to enter a world where I'm metal detected and patted down just because I want to go to a sporting event. And this is the world that we are creating right now. It wasn't always like this. I'm only 27 years old, but when I was a kid, I wasn't worried about a terrorist event at a ball game or a concert or being downtown and worrying about somebody running me over in their car. Even in Europe, I don't think that was the case. Now in Europe, you have soccer games getting bomb threats. You have airports getting bombed. And now it's reached a point, you can even see this in America, the fear is so real. The fear is so palpable that if you just see a bag, sitting down, you're scared and you have to call the authorities because it might be a bomb. Is that the type of life we want to live? They tell you at the airport, if you see any suspicious packages unattended, please notify authorities immediately. Okay, but now there's an unattended suspicious bag. We have to evacuate the entire airport, probably cause a lot of air traffic, a lot of flights delayed. This is the nation of fear. And to be honest, that's what radical Islamicists coming out of the Middle East want. See, they view Europe and the West as the bringers of fear to their lives, to their homeland. So they want to bring that same fear to you. Now, this all, again, comes back to September 11th, 2001, where 15 of the 19 hijackers were Saudi Arabian. We're told that it's radical Islamic terror we're fighting. We invade Iraq, we invade Afghanistan, and everything has been chaotic since. So we go into those regions, we destabilize those regions with help from Europe. Then Europe opens its borders, the United States has an open border policy, and they all flood here. That is a terrible foreign policy. That is awful geopolitics to engage in right there. But now Saudi Arabia is going to be getting over $300 billion of arms from the United States over the next 3 years, $100 billion up front. So what is the problem here? Yes, of course, and then you hear Trump's speech. He's very stern. He calls out radical Islamic terror as he's in Saudi Arabia. But it should be interesting as we continue to monitor this. I'll see if we have any updates here. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to report on something I don't know what has happened, but I think we can all take a pretty good estimate here. This is actually a statement that was just released from the Manchester police. Just before 10:35 on Monday, 22nd, police were called to reports of an explosion at Manchester Arena. So far, 19 people are confirmed to be dead, with 50 others confirmed to be injured. This is currently being treated as a terrorist incident until police know otherwise. Wow. So we have death right now in Manchester. There's some images of concert goers being helped out of the arena after they got hit with what early reports are saying was a nail bomb. There is the latest statement from the Manchester police. So you had fear of a bomb in a Swedish airport causing people to evacuate. And now you have, this is just so sad, another attack on innocent people at an event. We're going to stay tuned to figure out exactly what is going on with this. But right now, we're going to go to John Bowne, who has filed a report on the race-baiting party of the Democrats, and we'll have more from them when we return. Here's that report.
Let's call the Trump-Russia collusion scandal what it is, shall we? A fabricated deep state takedown of the duly elected executive branch, which will result in nothing less than the destruction of the Republic of the United States of America.
Well, you have a politicization of the agencies that is resulting in leaks from anonymous, unknown people, and the intention is to take down a president. Now, this is very dangerous to America. It's a threat to our republic. It constitutes a clear and present danger to our way of life. Who's putting these leaks out? Why doesn't somebody come forward and make a charge and put their name and a reputation behind it instead of attacking through the media and not substantiating their position? It has to be pointed out in October of 2016, that same deep state overrode the decision of President Obama and Secretary Kerry to come to an agreement with Russia over in a ceasefire in Syria. They overrode it and launched an attack. This is about getting what's going on in the moment and understanding that our country itself is under attack from within.
The Democratic Party, led by race-baiting, Trump-hating, New World Order zealots, are chanting impeachment with zero proof of any wrongdoing, single-handedly whipping up violent rhetoric amongst their constituents. U.S. Representative Al Green said racist phone calls came in not long after he called for the impeachment of President Trump.
And you can decide for yourself what we're dealing with.
We're going to impeach nobody. Try it, and we'll lynch on you hanging from a tree. I didn't see anybody calling for the impeachment of your Obama. He was born in Kenya. He's not even an American.
Hey, Al Green, we got an impeachment for you. It's going to be yours. In fact, we're going to give you a short trial before we hang your ass.
Mr. Green would have us believe that two racist phone calls represent the majority of Trump supporters, saying he wanted his constituents to decide for yourself what we're dealing with. Green also said it doesn't deter us. We are not going to be intimidated. We are not going to allow this to cause us to deviate from what we believe to be the right thing to do, and that is to proceed with the impeachment of President Trump. Meanwhile, it appears that James Comey has been building an obstruction of justice case on Donald Trump, according to Matthew Miller, the former director of the Office of Public Affairs at the Department of Justice. Miller tweeted this 5 days before Comey's memo claimed the president asked Comey to end the investigation on former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. It reads, "One thing I learned at the DOJ about Comey, he leaves a protective paper trail whenever he deems something inappropriate happened. Stay tuned."
They've let the media put out that this is some type of obstruction of justice, so they're guilty of slandering and defaming the president and allowing a lie to be put out based on his memo when he's perjured himself saying that he doesn't believe that's what it is. So either way you slice it, it's defamation, it's sedition, it's disinformation campaigns against the president with the colluding media, or he's perjured himself. Which is it?
Well, and I think you're right. And what I'm pointing out in this article is that, and how it can compete against this disinformation campaign, because the entire Russian collusion is classic disinformation. It's a lie.
Democrats and rhino Republicans, drunk with power and fueled by the marching orders of the tax dollar gorging shadow government behemoth, are forcing the United States into a position of total implosion. John Bound for Infowars.com.
Let's go to Devin in Florida. Devin in Florida, you're on the air.
Great. Hey, thank you so much. Listen, I have bought your product, and I gotta say they're amazing. Anyone who's on the fence, buy it, because I've got Caveman, Superman Vitality, Secret 12, Vitamin Infusion. I've got the body armor.
Wow, thank you.
Wow.
You're the type of listener that makes it all possible. Which nutraceutical does you like best? Infowars has partnered with Defender Body Armor to bring you a new state-of-the-art line of advanced, highly tested body armor from InfoWarsStore.com. Defender Body Armor is certified to protect against all handgun rounds and even armor-piercing FN 5.7 pistol rounds. The secret to Defender Body Armor is its proprietary processing technology that disperses more kinetic energy at a rate higher than any other traditional body armor, using one of the strongest synthetic materials ever created, called ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene. Defender Armor is also super compact and lightweight. There's a reason the Department of Defense chose Defender to manufacture their new line of advanced lightweight armor. It works. Defender Body Armor is made right here in America and has received the highest level ballistic resistant certification from an authorized NIJ ballistic laboratory. Defender Body Armor is now available through InfoWarsStore.com, so you can defend yourself, your family, and finance the info war against the globalists all at the same time. A total 360 win.
You provided Alex with the Caveman.
Well, so we've been formulating this stuff for a while, and we've been getting these different flavors, and I don't know about this one, and so I've been taking that stuff, and I'm an old man. I'm 42. I work out 5 times a week, if not more.
I hear you're okay in jiu-jitsu. That's what I hear.
No, I'm not. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. But the point is that I have a lot of aches and shoulders, and there's weird joint stuff that I've had issues with for years. And this bone broth the caveman bone broth along with our joint formula has just worked magic for me. And that's just, that's just from my personal experience. I think they're great products, and I think if anybody else has those issues, that you should definitely, you owe it to yourself to check it out. If I'm wrong, then hey man, write me a mean letter. But let me tell you, they work for me. And so,
yeah, they work for me too. We were talking about this earlier. Dude and I play basketball, and I'm just now, like for the first time in my life, I'm 27 now. After I play basketball, my knees are barking. Like it's but the bone broth and the joint formula, like you just said, you combine those two. I felt the difference immediately. I felt it immediately.
Yeah, and it actually tastes good. Like, I'm really picky, and I will drink it. It tastes good to me. I love chocolate, so I really like the flavor of the caveman. So, I mean, if the bone broth if the bone broth is really that gross, I mean, I would never have known because it tastes really good. And my favorite is the Super Female Vitality. So ladies, get yourself some Super Female Vitality if you haven't already, because it seriously, it just gets me going. I mean, I'll take a whole bunch of that stuff before I go out and do
get it for your wife then too, or girlfriend.
Right? I go and take a bunch of it before I go do Man on the Street, and I just start running, zipping around, running right into the action. No fear, nothing. So,
well, that's a big primary part about fighting the globalists, is making sure that we stay healthy and stay clear-eyed and stay honest and stay humble. I hope that we do that here at Infowars. We got a lot going on, and we're in the middle of the fight, so we really appreciate it when anybody supports us, either by purchasing our products, or you can even go onto our store and donate. We're doing this by the skin of our teeth. I know it looks like we're in a $1 billion studio, but Alex has never taken 1 cent of borrowed money at all whatsoever. This is all money that's come from you, the listeners. So you have literally built this place, built this place with your compassion, and built this place with the support that you've sent us. So from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it, because I know we wouldn't be able to do this, and we wouldn't have a voice if it wasn't for you. So once again, we got to thank the listeners for their steadfastness in supporting us. And even when we make mistakes, and even when we're not right, and even when we might go a little bit crazy, you guys stick with us, and I appreciate that.
Well, unfortunately, we are covering these terrorist incidents all too often now, and it's just becoming commonplace, where in 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, this attack on children at the Ariana Grande concert will just be another footnote in history, folks. They haven't learned anything over there, have they? They didn't learn from the Bataclan. They didn't learn from the German Christmas market, from all of the dozens. It's dozens now, every year, that people in news have to cover this. So we're getting updates. Some reports are saying more than 25 dead. Some are saying 23 dead. Right now, I'm hearing that 10 people are deceased, are under 18 years old. So this is what we're dealing with right now. And, well, hopefully what we're not going to be dealing with in the United States of America. We're not going to let you in if you hate our way of life. And we're not going to let you in unless you are willing to at least assimilate with our culture. But again, we already know how this is going to go. The liberals will say, well, just wait. You don't know what happened yet. Don't say radical Islamic terror. You don't know. Don't be racist. Don't be intolerant. Okay, it was radical Islamic terror. And then what will change? Nothing. Nothing at all. The political leaders in Europe will do nothing. Let's recall that it was Mayor Khan who told the people in London, you live in a big city, get used to it. Do you think that'll be his message tonight? Do you think Mayor Khan job, do you think he'll even say anything? the mayor of London, Stan? Do you think he'll even make a statement tonight? Or do you think he will be so embarrassed that he's going to stay home and hide his tail between his legs, just like the coward that he is? Oh, there he is, Mayor Khan. That's right. Terrorism is part and parcel of living in a big city. Yeah, part and parcel of living in a big city when the mayor is you. Part and parcel of living in a big city when you're ruled by liberals. You're right. Terrorism, the Mayor Khan job of London, Stan, is actually right. Terrorism is part and parcel when he's the mayor. Terrorism is part and parcel when you have liberal leaders that are so afraid of their own shadow, they won't even implement policy to keep their own people safe. They won't even implement policy to retain sovereignty. I was looking at a picture today. It was some line in London. One white guy. One white guy. The rest of them were of Middle Eastern descent, which is fine. It doesn't matter, except this is an invasion. Well, you better get used to what Mayor Khan says. You better get used to these terror attacks. That's just what you get. That's part of living in London now. You're upset? Whoa, you're upset that you went to an Ariana Grande concert with your daughters and they got blown up? Well, what the hell's wrong with you? You live in London. You should expect that. You want to go to a concert with your family? You might get blown up. That's part and parcel to living in London, thanks to my mayor. And he's proud of it because he's a good liberal. And you know what? I think the people of London, I think the people in England have had enough. That's what I think. And I have a bad feeling that this might be the straw that broke the camel's back, and they might start seeing some bad stuff happening on the streets. Because Tommy Robinson is not going to be the only guy, the only white guy in Europe, the only white guy in Britain that's going to stand up for himself. I got news for you. When you're blowing up kids, you're going to piss people off. Okay? So, those liberal policies by Mayor Khan, I don't think are going to last very long. So, again, we will continue to keep our eye on this, but right now it appears at least 20 dead. Some people are saying 100, some people are saying 50. Point is, there is another terrorist attack in London, and all signs point to this trend that we've seen, radical Islamic terror. We'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, here in America, some Notre Dame graduates walk out over Mike Pence's speech. You know, here's the thing. I got to thinking about this. They have every right that they want to walk out. If you want to walk out and make an ass of yourself, if you want to walk out and be a disrespectful punk, then okay, that's your right. You have the right to free speech. You have the right to show the world that you're a disrespectful, spoiled, rotten punk brat that graduated from Notre Dame, and you're going to walk out on Mike Pence's speech. This is what grinds my gears, and I know this. If I was to walk up to those people who decided to walk out of Mike Pence's speech with a camera and a microphone and ask them why, they wouldn't have a clue, because that's all they are. In fact, can we rewind that? That is the image right there. Go back to what this is. What these people are, folks. Hive mind followers. That's all they are. They're a bunch of followers. There's no leaders. No leaders are walking out of Mike Pence's speech. They're all followers. And that's why when I go up to them with a camera and a microphone and I say, hey, why did you walk out on Mike Pence's speech? He's a racist. He hates homosexuals. And my friend did it. Okay, now can you tell me something that's real? I'm a college grad now. I don't have to answer your questions. I'm a big boy. So that's how that would have gone, and I've only had to experience that too much. So again, you have every right, if you want to make a jackass of yourself and be a disrespectful punk, which is all, it seems, comes out of these higher education facilities these days. Now, I would say maybe it's about 50-50, if we're being perfectly honest. But or you could look at that. You would think at Notre Dame, such an esteemed university, such well-respecting individuals, people with class. No. Even at Notre Dame, they are spoiled punks. See, they think it's all about them. Oh, Mike Pence is here to respect my class by giving a speech. That took a lot of time out of his day and out of his work, and a lot of people had to come here to make that possible. Screw you. I'm walking out because it's all about me. There's the followers. Bunch of losers. Bunch of losers. Hi, why did you walk out of Mike Pence's speech? Duh, because he doesn't like gay people. Oh, because my professor told me. That's why. Oh, your liberal professor told you to do that. What else did your liberal professor told you to do? To have open borders. To be tolerant. How's that working in Manchester, England tonight? Not too well, is it? But what do you expect when these people are following the party line of the Democrats? California Democrat Party leader leads the F Donald Trump chant. This was actually John Burton's last hurrah. Can you believe this? I can't believe that I cover this almost on a daily basis now. Democrats have an event. They get one of these leaders up there. Last time it was, what's her name? She's out of California. Oh, man, now I can't think of her name. But she was shouting obscenities at a Democrat event. You've got Tom Perez, who shouts obscenities at Democrat events. Now, on his way out, John Burton at the California Senate Convention of 2017, John Burton leads the crowd in F Donald Trump chants. Oh, that's nice to have Nancy Pelosi alongside too. Folks, these people are mentally retarded. And I'm not saying that to be demeaning towards anybody. I mean, look, Nancy Pelosi is a raving lunatic, okay? This John Burton guy, this is his last time hosting a Democrat event. This is, Nancy Pelosi laughing as people chant F Donald Trump. Yeah, you're going to be laughing your way out of a job, Pelosi, and you'll be lucky that you're not laughing your way to people looking into your foreign offshore bank accounts and associating with your goat head pizza. But no, this is what you get from the Democrats. I'll be shocked if they ever win anything else. So congratulations, John Burton, on an excellent career. You decided to go out on a high note. You decided to go out classy, and you said F Donald Trump to a bunch of your constituents. Great career, John Burton. Excellent way to go out. Way to go out on time. Electrify your day with Secret 12. It's like lightning in a bottle. We all have days in which we just can't seem to perform at the level we'd like to. Infowars Live Secret 12 is designed to naturally energize your body and mind with 2 great tasting and super high quality forms of vitamin B12. Proper vitamin and nutrient intake is essential to keep your body functioning at optimum levels. The reality is, it's hard to take in the proper amount of vitamins we need each day with our modern diets. Secret 12 by Infowars Live is an easy way to naturally upgrade your vitamin B12 intake and support your body's natural systems. It pairs 2 forms of vitamin B12 into one explosive formula. Vitamin B12 supports healthy energy levels through red blood cell formation and aiding in the body's natural processes, but it also assists with many other functions of the body. Electrify your mind and body and take your health to the next level. Experience the power of Secret 12 at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to secure your canister. We have worked for years with our chemists and scientists to create the most powerful and affordable, great-tasting multivitamin formula available. Vitamin Mineral Fusion Drink Mix at InfoWarsLife.com is loaded with a full month's supply of essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that your body absolutely needs. In the history of InfoWars Life, we've brought out a lot of amazing products like Survival Shield X2, Super Male Vitality, and so many others. With its unique delivery system and proprietary manufacturing process designed for maximized effects, this formula is the platinum standard of multivitamin mineral products. And this part is most important. The ingredients in Vitamin Mineral Fusion are either plant-derived or of the highest quality lab standard. That means it's clean. That means it's pure. And rest assured, you're finding the tip of the spear in the info war. That's InfoWarsLife.com and Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Take action now before we sell out. We have have the new product at InfoWarsLife.com, BioTrue Selenium.
We've had so many requests over the years for selenium, and just recently, we were able to source a certified organic, bioavailable selenium from mustard seed extract. When you take selenium in the body, it actually benefits the detoxification systems in your body. It helps balance the thyroid gland. It helps detoxify.
Selenium is another one of those absolute must-haves.
The highest concentration of selenium is in the thyroid gland, but it's actually used all over the body. As a matter of fact, there's 25 genes in the body that are directly dependent upon selenium. So it really is a all-around nutrient that everybody really needs.
I'm taking it now every day. This is so key. BioTrue Selenium is the product, the best selenium that we could bring you. We believe it's the best out there at a very, very low price. Exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. We're selling a product, DNA Force, that is the very best nutraceutical that we can produce. Dr. Group, you took years for you to develop DNA Force for us.
It's been something that I've been working on for a long time, Alex, because I think it's very, very important. What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying.
We chose the PQQ because it has over 175 different clinical trials. It's one of the most effective substances in the world. It works like an antioxidant. It works to repair nerve growth factor.
So this is a formula to deliver the maximum amount. It's in powder form.
We have so many 5-star reviews. I take this. This is the product that I take.
InfoWarsLife.com, and the profit we make, we fight the globals. We fight the New World Order. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
So we are still monitoring terror attacks that happened in Manchester today. And at the conclusion of this broadcast, Alex Jones is going to come on live and give you his breakdown, his analysis of the attack at the Ariana Grande concert in London. It was nighttime in London as this was going on, about 10:30, I think, local time in London, when these reports. So again, Alex Jones coming on at 8 o'clock right after the conclusion of the nightly news to give you all the updates and breakdown. You know, one thing that is key to me in this tight news cycle, and it's almost impossible to do, but to not forget about things. We can't forget about this. We can't forget about the Bataclan. We can't forget about the truck attack. We can't forget about these things. These are things that need to stay relevant, because when they push them aside, it no longer becomes a talking point to shape policy. It just becomes a news event, and policy ignores reality now when we're dealing with liberals. So, and now ISIS-affiliated accounts are going on Twitter promoting more vehicles attacks, larger vehicles. We've been knowing they've been doing this. But another one is Seth Rich. Now, liberals are saying Seth Rich is fake news. I have a feeling that this one is not going to go away. Kim.com says he's going to have a big announcement, and he's going to drop basically, I guess, evidence that he knows that Seth Rich was the leaker. And there's more and more coming out about that. The bar that Seth Rich went to, the cops never did an investigation into the people that worked there. What's up with that? It does appear that there is an affiliation there with I think it was a Podesta sister, Heather Podesta, in the police department. So we'll keep looking into that. But here is a Millie Weaver report on veterans marching for Trump. Don't forget about that letter they wrote supporting Trump. Here they are still supporting Trump.
Millie Weaver reporting for Infowars.com. We're here outside the Austin, Texas Capitol, the capital of Texas. And so what brings you out here today?
We're out here to bring awareness to veterans issues. We're marching with Veterans March on America and Victory for Veterans. And that's an organization that the creator sold his house, sold everything, and he's going on a bike ride for to raise funds to try to fund a lot of these organizations that help veterans in these different areas.
The idea behind this march really started with a conversation between two guys about bringing refugees into the country and housing them, and which rapidly turned into, look, we've got 54,000 minimum estimates, 54,000 homeless veterans in this country. Let's do something about that. And so marching in cities across the country, we hope to march in every capital in the country. We ended up with about 14 cities, which we still feel is a win.
I'm here to support Veterans March across America. I'm an Army veteran of 5 years. I got out in '92. I'm also the vice commander of my American Legion post in Mercedes, Texas. So veterans issues and treatment of veterans and the veterans health support system is important to me.
I'm all about the vets helping vets. I run the American Legion of South Austin here. I'm one of the youngest members of my post, so now I'm out here to support veterans. And I was a 6-year active duty Navy corpsman, 3 combat tours. So it's like I'm out here whenever we get a chance, when veterans get a chance to rally, I believe that we should rally. Our voices are being silenced before, but I think now they're starting to be louder and come louder and louder. I think the public's starting to see that as well.
I just got discharged from the Marine Corps for serving 5 years. So I was just on Facebook scrolling through. I saw this group, so I was following them, and I saw they have an event today. So I was just curious, show up, see what it's about. I'm all new to this, so. But I feel like this is a good cause, marching for veterans to prevent suicidal and homeless. That's what I'm all about.
I write a blog at separatingfromservice.com that helps veterans to understand what's going on in their brain and their mind as they transition out of the military and back into the civilian world. And so it gives a lot of helpful advice on what civilians can do to help reintegrate veterans and what veterans should understand and realize what's going on in their minds and their bodies as they reintegrate back into civilian life. Understanding what's happening is the first step to mitigating how difficult it can be.
I'm a veteran myself, so whenever they said we were doing the march to raise awareness for PTSD and homeless veterans and stuff, I was like, hey, why not? Let's do it. I mean, we're not doing anything else but hanging out in Austin, so let's at least do something for a good cause while we're here.
Exactly. What do you think about the high numbers of veteran suicides in America?
Really bad, but I'm assuming that's because we're not either giving them enough services for psychiatric. And I know that they talk about the drugs that they're giving them, but I know that, there's other things we can give them, but wouldn't be those kind of drugs.
I think we need to take better care of our vets, and we need to find ways to put money more in the VA hospitals and find a way to take care of our own here, within the United States before we start giving billions of dollars away to other countries for other reasons.
I think that the quality of the care is not what it should be. There's long been a lot of pressure to overprescribe medications for veterans instead of getting them really proper and intensive mental health care across the transition spectrum. Instead, they over-medicate them, and in many cases, those improper medications lead to veteran suicides instead of mitigating them.
I mean, I've seen it, the hours you wait in a VA hospital, and you get shifted from the Austin VA to the Temple VA to get treatment that you can receive in a local doctor here. It's horrible.
So are you happy with how Trump has been speaking in regards to helping the veterans?
Yes. So hopefully you can get them through.
He's shown that he supports veterans and law enforcement alike. So I do have a lot to hope that he's going to take care of that.
I think he's holding the VA accountable now. He's holding everybody on the higher echelon of the veterans care and veterans groups on the Capitol Hill. He's holding them accountable for what they've actually been doing. So all these issues coming up with the wait times for the VA, he's actually been leading the charge on that, I believe. So it's I think he is going to be turning around the VA healthcare system.
We're here to hold the VA accountable, and I'm not here to start a war with the VA, but we want to see them do, honor the commitments that they have. They have missions, visions, and values posted on their websites too, and some of those could be honored a little better.
And I don't think that people understand the magnitude of the mental health crisis for veterans. I personally have 7 close friends who've killed themselves in the past 5 years. So much of it was due to a lack of proper mental health care, either while they were still in service or as they were separating.
You know, when I signed my contract, I fought for this country, but I also believe in what this country is all about, you know, welcoming people in. But of course, then you can't neglect veterans. That's just the wrong thing to do.
We can't put refugees before our veterans. We got to take care of our own before we can take care of anybody else.
So we're just here to kind of have our voices heard, and we're doing it here on the steps of the Capitol because this is the beginning, because we're going to start here, and then we'll be taking our voices inside so that the legislature can hear it.
Do you think that we should support our veterans?
Yeah, we should. They fought for us, so we got to fight for them.
You don't realize it until like the next day. Until like the next day, you're like, oh, my shoulders. No, my favorite thing in country to do, man, is we have our pack on and our flag, full battle.
Oh, thank you, Infowars. Thanks for coming out and helping us tell this story for our veterans.
Thank you. Thank you very much for helping put this on.
Yeah, you bet. That's our first shot, and there's going to be more of these.
This is awesome, this group of people. This is an awesome group of people. But I really feel like we can do better for our veterans. We've seen groups of people come out here in Austin, larger groups coming out to support illegal immigrants. So I think we can do better for our veterans. Let's all get out here on Monday, May 29th for Memorial Day. Let's show these veterans just how much we appreciate their service. And let's go out there to memorialize and remember the veterans that have died and fought for our rights.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
God bless our veterans. This is Millie Weaver signing off for Infowars.com.
Thousands of years ago, there was a basic form of chivalry. Our ancestors would hear the drums of war, giving the warriors of the tribe. Alex Jones here with a very important news update to anybody out there that wants to be prepared. But it goes beyond being prepared. Our bodies absolutely must have the good halogen iodine or we will die. And you look at all of the thyroid problems and all the people that don't have energy and that have all sorts of hormone problems. And from my research, and a lot of just mainline research, it leads back to iodine over and over and over again. It's as important as vitamin C. If you don't get iodine, you die. But most people are just deficient, so they're low energy, they're sick. You got to have iodine in your body so that your body can produce the hormones you need. It is the base to so many things. And since I got into iodine 4 years ago, we've helped change the entire paradigm by developing and bringing to the public deep earth crystals from 7,000 to 12,000 feet of the purest iodine available. Other iodine comes from the ocean or from other byproducts of chemical facilities and is tainted. It's bound. It's not absorbable. I tried it. And I had incredible effects even with dirty iodine because the body needs it. When you don't have iodine, it absorbs the chlorine, the fluoride, and all these other bad halogens. Do yourself and your family a favor and check out the importance of iodine for yourself. I think you're going to be blown away. And whatever you do, support the broadcast and get a bottle of Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2. Also consult your physician because if you've been deficient in it or have other issues, it can have some dramatic effects. As for me and most folks I talk to, it's been a game changer in the positive column, but still consult your physician because iodine is no joke. It's a key building block of the body. And if you haven't had it for a long time and suddenly have it, some folks say they've experienced things like a detoxing effect and things like that. You've got to have vitamin C. You've got to have iodine to live. You got to have water to live. Iodine is key. You must have it, but consult your physician first before you get powerful Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2 at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll free. We can answer your questions. 888-253-3139.
President Trump is on day 4 of his 9-day foreign trip where he leaves the swamp in Washington, D.C., and perhaps goes and checks out swamps in other parts of our planet. But he has been visiting cultural areas. It started in Saudi Arabia. The big talk about that on day 1, of course, was the major arms deal that went to Saudi Arabia. Of course, it was not Donald Trump that did a full bow to the king of Saudi Arabia, Melania Trump did not wear a hijab, some of the other stories that were developing from that trip. But as he moves on, he now visits Israel and has a meeting with Netanyahu. Some of the highlights from his meeting with Netanyahu include Netanyahu gifting President Trump a 150-year-old Bible. And while it is believed that Trump could perhaps bring peace between Israel and Palestine, there were some powerful words exchanged between the two. Donald Trump talked about how together the United States and Israel can roll back Iran's march of aggression and thwart Iran's unbridled ambition to become a nuclear weapon state. Netanyahu said, "It won't be simple, but for the first time in many years, and Mr. President, for the first time in my lifetime, I see a real hope for change." Now, is that a slight at the former President Obama? For the first time, Netanyahu says he has a real hope for change. Interesting that you hear that when President Trump visits. Never heard that when President Obama visited. Let's come back to the United States for a second. In a weird twist, General Flynn cites public frenzy in refusal to comply with subpoena. Now, this is interesting. At first, it looked like all the people on the side of Donald Trump were going to cooperate, not plead the fifth, be willing to testify. And for the first time now, it appears as though perhaps one of the side of the Russia collusion side, Mike Flynn, cites public frenzy, and he's going to plead the fifth. Now, who knows what the real reason for this is? Of course, there is public frenzy surrounding the whole Russia probe. So maybe General Flynn doesn't want to add to that. Maybe he's trying to protect his self-interest in some other case, not having to do with any Russia probe. But General Flynn has now, it appears, is going to plead the fifth on this subpoena. But this story is not going to stop. They're going to keep coming, and I'm sure that there's going to be other cards up the sleeves of Mike Flynn and President Trump, as it's been rumored that President Trump wants Mike Flynn to even rejoin him in D.C. Well, that would be nice, because it seems like it's Trump versus the world in D.C. right now. The swamp, sometimes it appears to be draining him. But one of his major moves was firing Comey. Now, James Comey tried to fire back, and he mentioned a memo that he may have taken. But James Comey may actually regret mentioning that, because it could be possible that he perjured himself. And this was a story that was broke by Kit Daniels. Kit Daniels joins us now from Infowars.com. Kit, I'm not sure that James Comey was thinking properly when he mentioned this potential memo or notes from the meeting that he had with Trump, because he probably forgot that he had said that when he was giving testimony under oath, that, oh, wait a second, I already said that there was no political reason that somebody requested I end this Russia probe. Do you think he's regretting that now?
Well, this goes to the whole point of how the mainstream media and the DC insiders hate the alternative media, because we point this out. Comey was, dependent on the fact that no one was ever going to go back and look at this 4-hour, Senate.
Or watched it to begin with.
Yeah, the Senate hearing. So, yeah, it was just like a little segment of this 4-hour piece where he was talking to all these senators. And, yeah, the mainstream media, of course, they're not going to cover it because it doesn't fit their narrative. I mean, why would they cover it? That'd only be damaging themselves. So the whole Comey memo controversy relied on everyone watching the mainstream media to get the so-called truth.
Well, it's amazing, too, the response that we saw. And I'm not sure if they're trying to cover for themselves or if they're really just this ignorant. They pretend like, oh, this is an old video from an old testimony. It's irrelevant. No, it's relevant because of what he said regarding the note means that he could have potentially committed perjury. Now, he could produce some memo or some note, and it might not have anything to do with Trump requesting he end the hearing or at all, and he just produces some memo. But then it kind of hurts his character, I think, because that's what he was insinuating.
And remember, I don't even think the New York Times has even read the memo. So no one's really read this memo.
Yeah, no one's seen the memo.
So they're reporting on this phantom memo just like they're reporting on phantom Russian hackers or...
That's pretty good.
It's so ridiculous. It's like they are the priesthood. They are the ones that get to decide what reality is. You're supposed to believe them without question.
But it does appear that Comey right now, I think, is checkmated because he already admitted that nobody wanted him to end the investigation or the Russia probe for political reasons. He admitted that. So he either has to admit that he committed perjury, or he's going to look like a fool if he puts out this memo and it proves nothing that he's insinuating, which was that, well, Trump requested that I end this investigation.
Well, what really puts it into for him and really puts him in a bad light is the whole Daily Beast article, which it was so flimsy as far as they're like, well, this isn't news anymore because it's 2 weeks ago. But yeah, it's like what Alex said on the Sunday show. If your neighbor got murdered 2 weeks ago, is it old news then? Is the police going to say no? We're not going to investigate anymore? Just because, of course not. Because murder, there's no statute of limitations. Same thing with this. There's not like a 2 or 3 month old statute of limitations.
Yeah, and if somebody changes their story in the middle of the investigation or an ongoing investigation, that raises red flags immediately. So Comey's got the red flags on him now,
especially a sitting FBI director.
Right. And of course, if he's going to insinuate that there was a political reason that Trump asked him to shut down the Russia investigation, even though it never happened, now you're really looking at a guy who has zero credibility, which is a serious problem to have at the head of the FBI. Good thing Trump fired him. Now, another story that you made that went viral, Soros could crash U.S. dollar by pushing Trump impeachment. Kit, this is something that nobody is talking about as far as I can hear. No mainstream news, nobody on any talk radio, nothing. Most people make fun of you if you say George Soros could do something like this. Tell me, why is this a serious issue? Why do you think nobody's covering this?
Well, I remember like reading a Business Insider article a while back that talked about the quantum fund that Soros created in the 1970s. And it says like the most successful hedge fund in the world. It's like consistently gets a 30% return on investment year after year. And the article is like, well, some say it's luck. I'm thinking to myself, it's not luck. The guy is politically connected across the world. He knows things are going to happen before they happen, because this is a guy that he creates chaos. He destroys nations because he can go back in and rebuild the nation to his benefit.
So what do you think he's thinking if he wants to collapse the U.S. dollar right now?
Well, the dollar's always been on a decline. That has nothing really to do with him. It's just Federal Reserve, fractional reserve
banking, correct? But what is it do you think that he wants to do to push it over the edge?
Well, he still has the power to crash the dollar. And then, like I said before, build order out of chaos that benefits him, that benefits the globalists. So, yeah, for the past year or so, he's been funding all these anti-Trump movements. You see all these Antifa and Antifa derivatives going out. And then you had Paul Watson did a video, I think this weekend, about how they're going to do a big nationwide riot on July 2nd.
Yeah, and of course the idea is, with summer comes more violence, riots heat up and everything that comes with summer.
And before I did this article, I told Alex before the show, I was like, this is just history repeating itself, because you got Soros, who's, masterminding all this political unrest, which ends up causing this economic collapse. And then he just profits off of it because he bets against the market, even though he's the one that manipulated the market to go downhill.
So that's the question. Has he made his bets right now against the U.S. dollar? Is he ready to cash in? Has he already placed his funds or hedging his bets against the U.S. dollar where it's time for it to collapse? Or has he made that move yet?
Well, back in 2012, I think it was Newsweek. He did an interview with them, and he was basically laying out everything that we see now with the collapse of the dollar, the civil unrest, so forth. But this was like this is like Constantinople to him, as far as a big, huge, prosperous civilization that he can finally take down.
And he talks about this too. He's proud of the fact that he can take down dollars, manipulate currencies with all the funds that he has. He talks about this in interviews, and it'll be interesting to see. We know that he's at least causing turmoil in the streets. Yeah. But we hope he doesn't cause it in the banks.
Well, what I like to think about Soros is kind of like a robber, like a highwayman back in the day that would rob a caravan, but then he'd throw the jewels away because it's a sport to him. That's the same thing with this. Destroying the economy is just a sport for him.
George Soros is a sick man. It's time for us to drain the swamp of George Soros.
I am very proud to announce the introduction of the highest quality Infowars Biome Defense Probiotic. We wanted to come out with the largest spectrum of high quality known probiotics that have been proven to improve overall digestion and health and detoxification in the body. Biome Defense is an exclusive blend of 50 billion live and active cultures from over 23 different probiotic strains that are known to support digestion and intestinal function. Our researchers are confident that we have been able to develop what will be the leading probiotic on the market. Secure your Biome Defense in ultra strength or regular strength at InfoWarsLife.com today and get started supporting your digestive system naturally. We've been testing this formula for years, but this is the limited first run to the public, so please take advantage of it today. Support your own health and support the InfoWar.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. It's Monday, May 22nd, 2017. I'm your host, Owen Schroyer. Here's what's on the news tonight.
Tonight, pictures of Donald Trump light up social media as the president puts his hand on a glowing orb in Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, defense stocks soar to an all-time high as the U.S. lands a $110 billion weapons deal with the Saudi government. Then, former FBI Director James Comey, in his own words,
tell the FBI to stop doing something that without an appropriate purpose. I mean, we're oftentimes, they give us opinions that we don't see a case there, and so you ought to stop investing resources in it. But I'm talking about a situation where we were told to stop something for a political reason. That would be a very big deal.
Can you say perjury? All that plus much more up next on the Infowars Nightly News.
The reason Infowars Life has 5-star ratings on major third-party sites is because I want products I'm going to use for my family. I take this, my family takes this, and then it funds the operation with the most hardcore, truthful information you're going to find anywhere. So what you find in our news is the same thing you find in our products at InfoWarsLife.com.
If I ever forget to take them, like I have a noticeable difference. I don't feel good. The nascent iodine is one of the ones that was life-changing for me.
Yeah, I actually have just run out of my super female. I had a few bottles at my house, and I've been taking it again, hitting the gym once again. Very exciting, feeling great, looking good. So, and I know my hair is luxurious once again. So obviously the super female is amazing. I love it.
Nascent iodine is essential. Survival Shield X2. If there's one product that I would say is life-changing that I would suggest, it's Nascent iodine Survival Shield X2. It's got a 5-star rating.
It's a win-win. InfoWarsLife.com.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. Owen Schroyer with you, and we've got some breaking news right now happening in Europe.